Next up, at UFC Vegas 65, we have Ricky Turcios taking on Kevin Natividad. Ricky Turcios is 11-3 overall, 3-2 in his last 5, and he's coming off that low volume loss to Ayman Zahabi. Kevin Natividad is 9-3 overall, 3-2 in his last 5. He's coming off 2 knockouts in a row. And what's interesting about this fight is Ricky's last fight. So Ricky's normally a high volume guy. He comes forward, he throws a million strikes, never stops. The pressure's there, the volume's there. Except in his last fight, he had none of that. There was no volume, no pressure. It was just shockingly low, and it cost him the fight. Before that, he beat Brady Heistand, who we broke down earlier. He was taken down 6 times, gave up 8 minutes of control time, and still landed 200 strikes. Still landed 200 strikes, but in his last fight, not so much. Kevin Natividad is a Hawaiian tough fighter. He is a grappler, which typically, you'll see those Hawaiians. They're very good strikers. They're super tough. Kevin's more of a grappler than a striker. He unfortunately has been getting put out on his feet because he's a step behind in the grappling. But he is relatively tough. His path is going to be the grappling. And so far in the UFC, though, he's had a rough go. He's matched up with Miles Johns, who's a good wrestler, and then Danam Bagarai, who hits ridiculously hard. If I didn't see Ricky's last fight, he would absolutely be the pick. I would just expect him to come forward, throw a million strikes, and just keep Kevin sort of, backing up at bay, not being able to settle in. But Ricky's last fight, man, he didn't do much, and he doesn't have wrestling to offer up as a backup plan. So I'm still going to pick Ricky here, but I'm not nearly as high on him as a lot of other people are. He is not a parlay piece for me. What do you think?
I actually love Pretty Ricky in this matchup. You did mention his last fight. There was actually a surprise stat after the first round of that last fight because he was pressing forward. He was just faint. I mean, throwing a lot of stuff out there. And I can't remember who was on the call. They were like, wait a second. They were like, this dude has landed 3 strikes in the first. That was it. I think in the first round, he landed 3 strikes. I don't know how many he actually threw. But yeah, he mentioned he usually is that wild pressure dude. I think he gets back to it, right? He learned a lesson. He was trying to maybe he was trying to tame it down. I can't remember who his coach is. He a Krause guy? I don't know. Maybe his coaches were trying to tame him down a little bit, and they paid for it. The low volume, he lost the decision. It is what it is. He actually is a decision fighter, but the way he fights, you would think he would have a lot more finishes because he does some wild stuff on the ground. You saw that in the Brady fight, wild scrambles, wild jiu-jitsu off his back to get back to his feet. And this fight, I think, is a great opportunity for him against a guy that's not super dangerous. As you mentioned, a little bit of a grappler, has gotten flatlined in his last 2 fights. One was a TKO, but the Miles Johns was an absolute flatline. Has not been super active. I actually like Pretty Ricky a lot in this matchup. I think that he can kind of do his thing, get in more of a flow of what he wants to do, be that pressure fighter. And if he finds the chin in one of those wild strikes against Kevin, it's going to be night time for Kevin because we've seen that time and time again his last 2 fights. So I'm pretty high on Pretty Ricky in this fight. I do have a bet on him of some sort. I can't remember what it is, but if you're a premium member, you know what it is. So I'm actually pretty high on Pretty Ricky for this fight.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. His last fight just concerns me a little bit, but I do get it. He should win. He's got the volume. He's got the pressure. If he finds some power, he's incredibly dangerous. That last fight worried me a little bit, and I don't know if that was the anomaly or his previous UFC fights was the anomaly. We got a $10 super chat from Alberto. No comment, but thank you very much, Alberto. We appreciate it. Thank you for the $10. Genuinely appreciated. So you like Ricky enough for $8,600 in DraftKings?
I think he'd find a finish. I don't know, even if it's not a knockout. If Brady, or I mean, if Kevin, coming off back-to-back knockout finishes, TKO finishes, whatever you want to call him, tries to wrestle, I think Pretty Ricky's a little bit more dangerous on the ground than people think in scrambles. So maybe we chase a submission. We'll see what we live bet Saturday for the live stream. By the way, these fights start at noon our time, noon Central, so a little bit early start.
I always hate when they're that early, but
I might chase some submission stuff, but I think Pretty Ricky is more of a live favorite than people give him credit for, and more of a live favorite than a lot of people on this card. This card's tough, man. It's hard to find out.
I completely agree with you. This is a much tougher card than I anticipated. And we're coming off UFC 281 was a tough card. And you know what's funny? Some people were like, hey, how did you guys make so much money? Because your picks were just okay. And there's a giant difference between picking a fight and betting on a fight. Massive difference. Because a lot of people hear the picks and then they just go out and spend all of their money on people they think are going to win the fights. But that's not how you make money betting on fights. You got to find your spots, look at the props that make sense. And a perfect example is you and I both picked Israel Adesanya to win. We were clearly both wrong. And both of us made money on that fight. We both had the under on rounds, right? We both said it's going to be under 4.5 rounds, which it was. And then you had Alex Pereira inside a distance decision, no action. So managed to make money on a fight where we got the pick wrong. And that's why it's important to A, listen to the analysis, and B, you don't just take, oh, this person's going to win, let me throw them in a parlay. Because a few of you were commenting on videos, oh, I had so-and-so in a parlay. Why are you having these like mid-level, like don't put Vanessa Demopoulos in a parlay? Why would you do that? Just because I said she wins, don't throw in a parlay, like stuff like that. So you gotta pick your spots, pay attention, listen to the analysis, and then just hunt for the best value on the most likely outcome.
Right. I think that all my picks that I got wrong, I think I made money off them. So it's like, I don't give a shit if my pick are wrong. You know, I saw the value in the underdog, or I saw this, or I saw that. You know, I'll bet against my picks. Yes, I think this person should win, but if the value's on the other side, I'll bet against my picks. I don't give a shit. The picks mean nothing.
I just dumped water all over myself like an idiot.
Put on a little white t-shirt. Let's do it again.
I don't know how to drink water apparently. Anyway, did you answer if you're putting Richard in DraftKings?
Pretty Ricky will be on the hotline.
On the line. Wow. And then Monkey, Night Fight Strike Line 91-45. If Ricky looks half as good as he has before his last fight, he should blow past that 91. Kevin's a bit chinny, but he is tough, and Ricky's not really a power guy. So that's probably
I just worry if I just worry if Kevin is going to come in and grind on me, relax your mind, take your time on me. That's Pretty Ricky. So, you know, it works. You didn't get it, but it works.
I did not get it, but now I do because you mansplained it. Thank you for that explanation. And thank you for the $10 super chat, Victor Hedrick. He went to MSG for 281, won all his trip money back on bets. Best card ever. Congrats, Victor. It was very good to all of us. I did see some other channels tweeting their whatever and just a full loss sweep. Like 10 bets on the board, all 10 bets lost. And I don't know how that happens. I think the problem is people get caught up in exact outcomes. Like so-and-so by round 2. And Jacob makes a ton of money. Those are all the winning bets. Like you had Matt Frivola wins by KO in the first. So you made a ton of money on that. But those
I had
were
Trezano by KO in the first. Has plus
and Matt Frivola.
I had Gutierrez in the first. That was plus 575. I had Matt Frivola in the first. That was plus 550. I had, in the first, Frivola was plus 1,400. Yeah. You know, I had Dustin by submission. That was plus 800. I mean, it's crazy. Then the parlay hit too, a 4 fight parlay. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy. I'll be honest with you. Sometimes, crazy. Yeah, I mean, sometimes I wonder why, you know, in the grand scheme of things,
there we go.
I just wonder why was I given this gift, you know? And I think it's my duty because I was given this gift to share it. You know, I don't want to hoard it. I could easily not do this live show. I could not do this channel, be a millionaire myself, but you know what? I was given this gift. I need to share it. And I want to make everyone else millionaires as well. And you know, and we're on our way. I mean, we're on our way. Ask anyone in the chat that's been following the bets the past few weeks and a lot longer than that. We are on our fucking way.
Very Mother Teresa-like of you. We appreciate that. Thank you for your service, Jacob. Genuinely appreciated. Okay. Muscles Mocino over there. Thank you very much.
Big Papa Pump.
Think we're done breaking this fight down.